Oh man, it's just it's priceless, this stuff. Now let me, poor ladies here. Again, I feel for a lot of these people because I understand. But listen to this view. Listen to this perspective. This is just a perspective, a general perspective of, I'd even say maybe the majority, majority of people, unfortunately. Just giving some understanding of how they see the world. This is so we get an understanding of what are people thinking out there today. Just the general folk, right? The general folk.
There are protesters out here against the vaccination, and I think they're absolutely crazy because you have to trust the scientists, okay? And for whatever reasons that they don't want to do it, they're going to basically just die off. So
You hear it? Where is that coming from? Again, this is what happens. This is the mind frame, or should we say this is the perspective, the point of view from those that purely get their information from mainstream media.
I think they're absolutely crazy because you have to trust the scientists, okay? And for whatever reasons that they don't want to do it, they're going to basically just die off. So, they do what they have to do and we do what we have to do. And I'm not going to take off my mask until Dr. Fauci himself calls me and say it's time to take the mask off.
Oh man. Wow. Wow. Social engineering 101.
So I'm very excited about that.
You said it's not about them, it's about us.
Yeah, it's not about them, it's about us. We have to protect one another. If you can't get a vaccine to keep from dying at the hospital, what can you do?
Let me ask you, ladies.
I'm waiting on my call from Dr. Fauci too. Honestly, I've been waiting for him to hit me up. He got my number.
So right now in New York City, you can't go to the gym, you can't go to the bars, and a few other things. You need to show vaccine status. Should we have stricter laws? Do you guys think that's a good benchmark there?
I think it's a good benchmark. I really do because listen, you have to stop. You have to start somewhere to stop the spread of the disease, and we haven't had anything like this since the 20s. So I think they're doing the best thing they can. They have to protect. They have to protect.
I think. Does it go far enough? Yeah.
I don't think it goes far enough, but I think that it should be extended, because as you just stated, we just left the restaurant.
What else should we do if it doesn't go far enough?
Well, we should mandate it where if they don't get it, okay, then they're not allowed to basically leave their house.
Wow.
That's
To
what
apply for a lease, would you want us to people to show vaccine status to live in?
Oh, absolutely, because I do not want anyone to infect me, although we know that we can still be infected, but not to the extent where we're going to be on a ventilator or something like that. But who wants to be isolated from their families? Because it's greater than that,
Can I ask you guys this one last question?
Absolutely.
In New York City, the vaccine status affects people of different races differently. People of color are among the least vaccinated in
Absolutely.
the city. I believe it's like 50% or lower.
Yes.
Is this almost like
Why is this important? I I feel for these women. I feel for all of those out in the world that are dealing with this situation in this way and have this type of thought process. Yeah, poke a little fun, but at the end of the day, this is just pure innocent ignorance, right? In my view, and this goes for a large majority of the population, man. Social engineering is powerful. It's sophisticated. It's advanced. It's been under development for generations. So we shouldn't be too surprised by this. But what is important about this is to see the perspective of a large part of our society. And with the public mind, or the general will presenting itself in this way, is rather disturbing to those of us that actually think and do research and know what's going on, right? And we are the minority. Unfortunately, we are the small group in the corner that is going to have stones thrown at them fiercely shortly, right? So I think it's important that we understand the thought process of the enemy. And I hate to create this kind of divide, this polarization, but we have to be honest here, man. A war is around the corner, and these types, these oligarchs, they are going to use these populations of people to push us out of the way. And it's already beginning, and we've seen how they have built this up with the whole juiced unjuiced kind of dichotomy. So that's how people are seeing all of this today. Certain groups, populations. I mean, I know this is probably a really a pretty extreme example, but you'd be surprised how many people out there think just like this. And it's something we need to be aware of. Now, let's get into some deeper aspects of this propaganda. A piece of propaganda that very well could have been what produced such a person to think in such a way. And this is by none other than the HHS.gov. Check out this propaganda here. This, man, you want to talk about fear propaganda, fear mongering. Check it out, man. Check it out. This is what they're spreading around everywhere. We don't want to get hit for that copyright. Stop saying goodbye too soon. What if we could prevent almost all of this? We can. Vaccines prevent 9 out of 10 deaths, even from the Delta variant. You see this? You see this? You see this? You see that? You see that? I mean, that does something to a person. When you see people, I mean, aside from psychopaths, of course, but when you see someone hurt that way, crying like that, it makes you feel something. You can't help but identify with that because you've felt something similar at one point. Probably didn't have anything to do with whatever this situation is, but you know what I'm getting at. It's so manipulative, man. And some people are more emotional than others, right? And we understand that those people would be affected even more. And this kind of stuff here, man, you take this into account, you take in Sesame Street and Muppets, and you put it all in. Man, this propaganda campaign has been so successful and like so thorough. And that it's just people crying. That's all that was. And of course, they're insinuating that they're crying due to losing a family member or friend due to the Rona.